Every day feels faster, louder, heavier. We're pulled in 100 directions, trying to do more, be more, have more. We wake up already behind. We carry the weight of deadlines, expectations, uncertainty. And somewhere along the way, peace feels out of reach. We try to fix it, to push through, to stay strong. But what if the answer isn't found in doing more? What if peace isn't something we have to chase? What if it's found in a person, not a plan? Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." In a world that glorifies pressure, he invites us to pause, to breathe, to trust. In the noise of the world, he whispers peace. In the pressure, he offers presence. In our striving, he calls us simply to trust. Because peace isn't the absence of problems, it's the presence of Jesus. He is our rest.
Creativity is intelligence, having fun. Hi, I'm Matthew McConaughey. Join me for the next few minutes as we look behind the scenes and inside the creative decisions of assembling a conference open.
In December 2025, Andrew was tasked by Ervin to design and produce a roughly 2-minute motion graphics piece supported by a voiceover and music. He started the process by doing internal visual thought experiments on what this piece could look like. His next move was to break down the script into 3 different acts. Act 1 would amplify pressure and would feel fast, chaotic, compressed, and loud.
Act 2, things would turn and feel silent, giving the audience space and room for their mind to breathe.
Act 3 would be the peaceful resolution, giving the viewer a warm, grounded feeling. The first half would be cold, mostly in black and white, with very limited use of color. The back half, he would use warm tones and beautiful color palettes. The most important thing Andrew decided on was for the audience to emotionally feel the words through the use of texture, color, lighting, movement, and editing. This didn't have to be a one-to-one translation of words.
For the next few weeks, he began research and development. He started with looking at those stock footage pieces he knew the piece might need. These included his signature sunlit shots, nature shots, a Bible, a cross, light elements, textures, various clock faces, people holding weights, and symbolic representations. Many of these items he didn't end up using, but they filled up his mood board as a starting point. Next, he focused on colors and color palettes. He also got more textures from Texture Labs. Andrew knew he wanted to use some complex new software systems that he had been slowly learning and tinkering with over the past few years. He knew the limitations of After Effects and that new software could do complex physics that After Effects just couldn't do. Over the years, he had developed a collection of ideas and techniques that were either never used in projects or he had kept for just the right project to use. He was excited when initial scrap he was shown contained highly kinetic topography and extreme edits. He had the ingredients ready. Now came time to cook. His initial idea was to have typography actually take the shape and form of key words from the script. When the voiceover said heavier, the text would physically look heavy on screen. This would work early on, he thought. But when the script moved to concepts that were harder to symbolize and communicate, this concept on its own wouldn't carry through the whole piece.
After wrestling in his mind how to fully conceptualize the piece as a whole, he went back to the word feeling. The whole point of the beginning narrative was to make the audience feel overwhelmed. This could be accomplished by rapidly changing the look and textures, and the glue was that it was mostly black and white. The point of it was to be chaotic. This also helped the resolution. When the piece turns, he would use a beautiful typeface and measured, elegant motion.
As he began work in After Effects, he was certain the piece would start with a clock, as time seemed to be a narrative theme in the script. His design process on this project would be approached in a specific way. He would start a design segment by animating a keyword first, then fill the background with supporting theming and imagery that would help evoke the accompanying emotion.
For the first word, faster, he would animate the text to appear as if it was both still in time and moving at the speed of light. Then the surrounding clock imagery helped support the idea. When it came to being pulled in 100 directions instead of seeing the text prominently, he put maze like arrows in the foreground and the supporting text as a background element. If he varied up the audience expectations, this would further get the response he wanted. For the next section, Do More, he wanted the text to move and snake across the image to the point where your eye would work to read it.
As the piece came along, there were many concepts that Andrew designed and animated that in the end didn't feel right, or they were just too crazy or intense. If a segment felt off, he would show it to colleagues and get their take on it. As a seasoned animator and editor, you have an innate sense when something doesn't feel right in an edit, and you need to be willing to cut out what doesn't work. Even if you spend a lot of time and effort on it, always focus on the message and story and how clear you are communicating those to the audience. To get across the phrase "have more," Andrew turned to a newer software. He wanted to have the phrase multiply and fill up the frame in a physical way. After Effects does have a $700 physics plugin that he tried the demo years ago, but he didn't have the budget for that. He had tested this software here and there in the past and knew it could handle very complex type systems. The problem was, there is little to no documentation on how to use it. Through experimentation and tinkering, he got a result that worked better than what he expected. The ideas for some sections came easy to him, but others, he struggled in translating the concept to screen. Sometimes in the creative process, an artist can overthink things when the answer ends up being to simplify the problem. For the ending phrase of Act 1, "Stay strong," Andrew had a number of ideas. Maybe he would show a figure pushing against metaphorical obstacles or walls. He tried a number of things that didn't quite work.
In the end, showing the determined eyes of a woman with the word strong conveyed the meaning better than other abstractions. A similar challenge came near the end with the phrase, "Peace isn't the absence of problems." Up to this point in the narrative, we flip back and forth from showing a problem and then a counterpoint that Jesus brings. He tried out a number of options, showing footage of various problems, then cutting to a joy-filled woman looking up to the sky. The series of edits, again, didn't feel right. After much thought and many different edits, the solution came to him. He would keep the shot of the joyful woman over both the problem and resolution, and have lines of faded text reiterating lines the audience had seen in Act 1.
So what makes a great entertaining work? It's carefully examining your script and extracting the story and the feeling from it, and artfully finding ways to communicating those things to your audience. It's trying new things and not being afraid to fail. It's about harnessing your fire and passion to fuel the creative process. Also, more importantly, it's collaboration and connection to people and the creator of all things.